Hi and welcome to Spot On. I'm Amber.
Yo, and I'm Ollie. Tonight on the show we meet some restorers who are getting the ideas off the ground.
And Ollie plays tag with a kingfish and we crash and roll in the studio later on.
All will be revealed, but first, here's Amber.
No, don't turn over. It's not the 6:30 news and I'm not Judy Bailey. But I am going to take a look at the story behind the making of the TV news. But if that doesn't interest you, I'm going to find out whether or not Judy Bailey's hair really is straight and where Richard Long buys his tie. But first up, the making of the stories.
We haven't got anything. I've got a piece from...
It's all go, I tell you. The 6:30 newsroom in Auckland with 8 on-road reporters, or journos if you want to use the jargon, and there's a lot of that in TV. But I'll explain as I go. Meet Ian. His assignment, the childcare strike. The angle of the story, well, we're about to find out. Just a quick ride to the location. The crew always ride up front. Now that's an unwritten rule. Once on location, the crew gear up. A beta camera is used to record the pictures. And a shotgun mic to record the sound. Before filming, the tape is ID or labelled.
Brent Sinclair, 6:30 News, 31st of May, 1988.
Batteries are loaded and now Ian briefs the crew.
Okay, they're all in the trade union centre next door, so what we'll do is we'll go in there, we'll get some shots of the meeting of the childcare workers, talk to one of the spokespeople in there, then we'll go on to a childcare centre to show an empty childcare centre and the impact of the strike, if there is any. And from there we'll talk to employers and then hopefully catch the parents when they turn up at midday when the childcare workers have gone back to work.
We will be holding another meeting on the 21st of June.
First, it's general shots of the meeting. Then, the interview. Ian's job as a journalist is to give the facts. The interview gives personal opinion.
And it's up to childcare workers to continue to do this.
Thanks very much.
Is this a good bit tone down there?
Okay,
You want a back cut?
yeah.
Back cut.
The back cut is basically where I ask you a question, one of the earlier questions, just to create the illusion of 2 cameras, so you don't need to respond to this. What about
Can we just wait for that phone? It won't cut in.
Oh, right, yeah.
Stop now, okay.
Right,
go.
okay, let's go. Rolling. Rolling? Okay. What about the argument, though, that if you're paid more, the parents will be charged more for childcare? We'll take that again. What about the argument, though, that if you're paid more,
Back cuts may take some time.
What about the argument, though, that if you're paid... What about the argument, though, that if you're paid more, the parents will be charged more for childcare? Good. Okay, what I'd like to do is get some vox pops from a couple of childcare workers here to see what they think of the general idea of going on strike, bearing in mind the responsibilities of the job. All right? We'll just slip in here. You happy? You want to shoot from that angle, Peter? Okay.
Vox pops, roughly translated, mean the voice of the people.
Childcare workers.
A quick comment.
It's absolutely disgusting that they're amongst the lowest paid workers in the country.
Back in the office, the gentle pace of the newsroom continues.
Morning television news.
All overseas. But the Wellington Dry, that's a good story. If there's an option of the Wellington Dry Dock, there's a story there, because the Wellington Dry Dock... Hang on, mate. Yeah, the Wellington Dry Dock has basically been blacked by the watersiders at the moment.
It's called tandem jumping and it's considered around the clubs to be...
The filming now completed, Ian discusses the graphics he needs for his childcare story.
Oh well, if we keep up the award rate, the national award rate, and then just first then reveal the or mix in the clay.
Yeah.
Time now to write the studio script for the presenter and the story script for the item. What will be said? Then it's off to editing to choose what will be seen.
The empty sand pit, and we're looking at. I need about 8 seconds, so you can put together. Yeah, even 3 if you can get them in. Yeah.
Last stop, the dubbing suite, where Ian's voiceover script is recorded.
The strike lasted 3 hours. Many playgrounds stood empty. Children away with parents. Employers claimed the action only hit a minority of playgrounds.
And at all
Nevertheless, at them...
Take it again, sorry.
Who decides the news stories for the day?
Well, the news stories are really decided upon by the program editor. He's the boss.
Well, Ian tells me you're the boss and you decide the news stories for the day. How do you go about it?
Pure journalistic instinct, really. Editorial judgment is a thing based on experience. You know instinctively what stories you must do. The difficult one is those stories which you think might work and you wonder whether they do or not at the end of the day. That's where the problem comes from.
And then what do you do?
Then you sit back and sweat for a while to see how the bulletin went, and you wait next morning for the brickbats and bouquets, and then you hand them out accordingly.
Now the sweating begins. It's 2 minutes before on air. The studio director now takes over. It's absolute chaos. Or should I say, organised chaos.
Sorry, we don't get the lead story, we go with and then we go with summer after that.
Thank you, Avalon. And Auckland Avalon News, Bulger 148, $9,000.
The last-minute read-through for the presenters.
In item 6, Yeltsin.
Okay.
And final instructions from the floor manager.
Opening titles check now, thank you. Here we go, VTA.
Today,
And
the arms
it
came
is
from
Then it's on air.
Yemen and the Middle
stand by the
East.
voiceover cue.
Tonight, the Prime Minister toughens his stance on union influence in the Labour Party. Moscow summit leaders move closer to a new missile treaty. And childcare workers warn they may strike again.
Here, things don't always go according to plan.
The 31st of May. A huge cache of weapons bound for Fiji was seized by Australian
Judy,
customs
I'll
officers
go to
late
one.
today.
Just
The
MCU
arms
on
came
one,
from a
MCU
port
on
in
one,
North
go.
Yemen in the Middle East and were marked used machinery. The weapons were on board the Anro Australia and were discovered after customs officers found irregularities in the ship's paperwork.
Yeah, he said 4 and then he said, no, 4A, because we started taking 4A.
4A on my earpiece just as I went.
We said 4A and then 5.
What's next, please?
Auckland standby.
Three in building blocks next for item 10, child care.
Childcare, that's our story. Thousands of preschoolers had a first-hand taste of industrial action today as childcare workers went on a national strike for more pay. It was the child carers' first national strike, and they warned it won't be the last if demands for better wages are not met.
The strike lasted 3 hours. Many playgrounds stood empty. Children away with parents. Employers claimed the action only hit a minority of playgrounds. Nevertheless, at their meetings, the strikers voiced anger over a wage they claimed didn't match the responsibility of the job.
Because I think it's absolutely disgusting that they're amongst the lowest paid workers in the country.
Daycare centres get up to $7.87 an hour under the National Award. They want closer to $9 through a 15% increase. Whatever the merits of the industrial arguments, it was business as usual at some centres. The dispute didn't spoil the day for these little high flyers.
Thanks, Amber. That was spot on.
From the Network News team, good night.
Oops, nearly forgot. Is Judy's hair really straight?
At Christmas time, I raced off and had a perm, which was a total disaster. Well, it didn't look terribly good on the box. The director said it looked like a haystack. So I've got to keep the director happy. So I actually blow it dry every day, which is a real pain in the neck.
And Richard, where do you get your ties from?
From a shop, like everybody else. Well, they're that bad, are they?
These directors tell me to say
I have to
these
be very
things.
careful with my ties. Bailey is very, very particular about my ties.
Oh,
she was
right.
nagging me very badly when we first started. But I think I'm getting my act together now. She wants me to be brighter.
So Judy Bailey's hair isn't straight.